Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about
What's going on, Mr. Clark?
the questions on the dealing with loss videos, and so
I got to
um,
thinking after you and I
the first
talked,
question I
thinking about a
asked,
lot of stuff.
or
Like
what
my
people
brother,
ask,
you know,
is
Andy,
why
here in town. They're against
did you
legalization
start
like the
the
rest of the
dealing
town
with loss
cried for that
videos?
land.
Well, for some people who don't know yet or haven't watched my other video yet, is
Illegal
we
liquor.
had a loss
But I don't think she qualifies.
just recently, in February,
They're targeting your Constitution. Wait, what?
and I know that
Take her to the border and throw her on the other side. Border? Then pull up their website. Get photos of the
loss is
His name, not
part of,
Represents a lot to a lot of people.
you know,
She needs our help. Remember these
part of
guys?
life,
They're all targets.
and so I figured that doing the loss videos would help with some of that, and that's why I started the loss videos. Alright, so another person asked, how are you processing with dealing with the loss? Well, I'm still processing, dealing with the loss. I know that some people struggle with processing, with dealing with loss. So that is the other reason why
Chris, Rocket, go left.
I started
Boys will go right.
making these videos so that we can well, let's back up. I know that some people have issues dealing with loss, and I know that some people have a hard time with processing it. So I figured making this video would help us learn, or help us learn together on how to deal with loss. But processing loss is hard. There's a lot you have to go through to deal with loss. And then someone else asked, what kind of feelings did you have making this video? I had a lot of mixed feelings at first. So, but then I realized that I wanted to make this video to help people processing their grief, because I know that I have issues with processing things. I know other people may have issues processing. So it's it's hard to learn, and it's hard to deal with, and that's the reason why I'm doing these videos, to help with all that. So how did you come up with the 6 signs of loss? Well, normally there are 5 signs of loss, but Um, I felt that shock should be one of the signs, because normally when you first find out about the news, you're in shock. And so, and then you go down the 5 signs of grief, but I do think shock is one of the signs, and that's the reason why I say there should be 6 instead of just 5. I mean, there are so many different signs of grief. Like, my husband asked me one day, well, he's like, well, I haven't been able to cry. I haven't been able to feel like the way normal people feel when someone passes away. And he's like, is that wrong? And I said, no. People process grief differently. So what he was feeling was perfectly normal. Basically, your body has a way of processing grief. And so if your body doesn't know how to process that grief, it puts blocks up, it shields you from it. Kind of so kind of like me, for instance, my grandmother died, and I cried uncontrollably because I missed her and we were very close. But when one of my uncles passed, I didn't quite feel the same way. I didn't cry. I didn't know how to process that grief because it's one of my uncles I've never met before, so I didn't have a connection, so I didn't know what to feel or how to feel at that point. So that's what I mean about there's different ways to grieve for somebody. You'll feel bad for their loss and all that, but it's kind of hard to grieve for someone you don't know. So those are a few things that people deal with. And I know I deal with it. But it's all, what I think is, it's all normal. What you're feeling is normal. There is no right or wrong answer to grief. Everyone processes it in different ways. And then someone asked, well, how do people process grief differently? Well, in one of my, one of my videos, I had done 2 videos on how people process grief. Like, I did a video, how I process it, and then I did a video on how other people may process it. So it's like, if I feel like, if I'm in the middle of acceptance and someone else, let's say, and someone else is in denial, that doesn't mean that they have to be in acceptance. They may still be in denial. And so, or they may be in a certain part of their grieving process. Not everybody is going to feel the same way. And I know that, some people may have different feelings and different opinions, and that is okay to have all that. Like I said, not everyone's going to feel the same way. Some people may, get over it faster than others, but don't let someone else tell you how you're supposed to feel. That's one of the things that I've noticed a lot. And I feel that, but if you're still processing, people process grief differently. Some people may accept it faster. Some people may need time to grieve. And some people don't give their self time to grieve, and I think that's why it bothers them more, because they have a hard time talking about these feelings. Okay, let me talk about emotions for a minute. Emotions after death, people go through a lot of emotions after death, and I do have a video that talks about that, because I know that a lot of people go through emotions. Some people may not know their emotions, or may have a hard time identifying their emotions when it comes to death. And that is okay. That doesn't mean that anything's wrong with you. It just means that the feelings haven't caught up with you yet, or you just haven't figured out a way to deal with them yet, and it's okay. Letting yourself deal with it day by day. Even talking to somebody about your emotions may help. Trying to identify those emotions to help you through the process of the emotions. I think that, even talking to a counselor, or doing a support group, but don't deal with it on your own. I know that if you try dealing with it on your own, you're not going to get anywhere. And so that's why I think that talking about emotions and talking about all these feelings I feel that are important. And that's the other reason why I started doing these videos of dealing with loss. So another person asked, how do people develop healthy ways or non-healthy ways of dealing with grief? Well, for instance, there are different ways of dealing with it. So for a healthy way to deal with it is letting people in and talking about it, going to counseling, going to a support group, even talking about it and not letting it keep you from doing the things that you love doing. I mean, there are other ways, and I do feel that those are some of the healthy ways. Writing things down, keeping a journal of how you're feeling, and not avoiding your feelings. Avoiding your feelings is one of the ways that, one of the non-healthy ways to dealing with the processing. So for the non-healthy ways, it's avoidance, gambling, drinking, not talking to anybody, not getting counseling, avoiding your family, just letting it take over you and consume you is not a healthy way of dealing with loss. And those are a few things that what they are. There are different types of loss that I do want to talk about, but right now I'm talking about grieving and all that, but eventually we will get into the other stuff on how to deal with loss. But but there are some videos that I'm doing that haven't been done yet. There are some videos where I'm breaking them up so they're not clustered together. So I am doing some loss videos. It just may take some time to get them all together. But yeah, that's what I'm doing so far. We're going to end the video right now. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.